like, you know what? I'm fucking going to game 2 because I want to bring my daughter. I've taken my sons to a bunch of games, and I haven't taken my daughter. So then I'm like, let's see how the series plays out. Because my daughter had to go to Mexico today with her mom. And I was like, she'd have to fly back from Boston and go right on another plane to Shut the fuck up and go to the game. All right? Shut the fuck up and go to the game. Enough with the bullshit.
Well,
I fucked up again. Another great game, right?
Yeah, it was great. They came back from 17 down.
17 down and won by 7?
Yeah.
And the fucking line, I mean, the line was 3.5.
I know.
I was like, there's no way Boston beats them by 3.5. They beat them by fucking 7.
Yeah.
So I thought the Nets were going to come back on fire the second game. Anyway, you want to save this shit for the podcast, maybe?
No, we're live anyway, so we're good. But I think they're going to sweep the Nets, and I think you'll be able to get your shot to go to Boston.
Yeah, I hope they sweep the Nets. That would be incredible.
And then the Bees are good too right now.
And then they play Philly. I like going to Philly games in Philly.
They are crazy.
So, it's fucking awesome, man.
When you wear your Pats shit too.
Yeah, I wear all my Celtic shit.
Yeah.
You got some fucking balls wearing that shit in here, yelling shit at me. UFC sucks. Like it's fucking awesome.
They got balls on
and
those
then if
things.
you beat them in Philly, it's even better.
That'd be
so fun.
That'd be a sweet Easter conference.
Everybody always bitches about Philly fans. I love Philly fans. They're out of their fucking minds,
yeah.
and it makes the game so much more fun.
Exactly.
So yeah, hopefully Boston sweeps the Nets.
I could see it. And the Bees are good too.
Is everybody going crazy in Boston now over this?
Right now. Yeah.
Especially beating Kyrie.
And the weather's nice, so
yeah,
it's
there you go.
buzzing.
That doesn't hurt either.
No, it's buzzing. Yeah, I mean Boston sports doesn't get better.
Yeah.
When are we getting event back at the Garden?
And what a fucking rough team this team is. You know what I mean? It's not packed with superstars and all that shit. They got Tatum, and then the rest of the team is just fucking dog tough.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, we'll be back to Boston soon. We're looking at Boston dates now.
Hell yeah! We had dinner with Calvin Cater last night, and he was itching for a Boston fight.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, but I love it. So yeah, Dana, thank you so much for having us in your space. It's beautiful here.
Pleasure.
But how you been?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Same old shit.
Yeah, I love it.
Same old shit around
And so
here.
I'm excited to chat about like your journey as an entrepreneur in the UFC, the future of the sport. But first, I want to chat about like our relationship. So we first got connected on Instagram like 3 years ago.
Yep.
You posted an Instagram. All we said was, "Hey, we're some Boston boys trying to make it big in sports media. Do you have any advice?" And you just said, "DM me." And so obviously we DM you. You immediately sent back a response. And so when you first reached out to us, did you have any idea who we were, what the Morning Blitz was, or just trying to help some scrappy kids from Boston?
Clue. Yeah, no, I talked to lots of people on social media, and obviously you're from Boston, so that was a huge help. But yeah, no, I love all these young people who are trying to do something, entrepreneurial and yeah, no, anything I can ever do to help, I love it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And like we had a blast at UFC 244 in New York with the Diaz Jorge presser when we chirped Nate for being a vegan. He wasn't too fond of that, but I thought it was funny. I saw you laughing.
I thought Nate's reaction was pretty funny.
It was.
The
Terminator's a vegan motherfucker.
He handled that really well, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So no, yeah, getting into your journey with the UFC, and so you took over as president, and you and your partners bought it in 2001 for $2 million, right?
Yep.
And so, what was your biggest obstacle getting the company off the ground in those early days of the UFC?
It was fun, actually. When I look back on all that stuff now, and I think about, we talk about it all the time. Like Lene, my head of PR, who's sitting over here, she's like my right hand girl. She's been here for a long time, and we talk about a lot of the stuff from the old days, and this is just a completely different world now, man. This place was crazy. First of all, we weren't in this building. We were in much smaller offices back in the day, and it was a grind. Every day was just grinding. Now it's like, are we going to Africa? If so, when? We're still battling here a lot of the COVID goofiness. There's still some states that we're not going to because they're not locked down, but they're tough to do business in, and some other countries. So hopefully over the next 3-4 months, a lot of this stuff will go away and disappear, and we'll forget it even happened. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And so did you ever have a doubt on like what the UFC would become when you were grinding in those early 2000s?
No, I never doubted. The question was, is the timing right? Everything in life is about timing, and did we get the timing right? And the timing literally could not have been more perfect for the UFC. So, yeah, I always believed it could be the biggest sport. I mean, if you watch interviews with me early on, I said it's going to be the biggest sport in the world, and we're still trying to achieve that today, as we go into all these different countries. But I was right. I figured this would work everywhere, and I was definitely right about that.
Yeah, and so there's probably so many highs and lows of that journey, right? But those lowest of the lows, how do you keep powering through?
Well, I mean, if you believe in what you're doing and you believe and you truly love what you're doing, you don't let anything get in your way. I mean, there's so many things that can derail you on your coming. Number one, the first and foremost is your ego. Your ego, if you look at, you're telling me fucking Guns N' Roses couldn't get back together and play. You know how much money those guys lost and how many people didn't get to see them play? It's all because of ego, Do you really hate these guys that bad? You got together at one point and liked each other and created something incredible and put out albums that are unbelievable, and now you could be touring and doing all the, it's all about keeping your ego in check and not losing your fucking mind.
Yeah.
You buy this thing for $2 million, then we go $40 million in the hole, then it turns around and it's this rocket ship. It's super successful. There's so many different ways that you could get sideways with your partners, like me and the Fertitta brothers. We never allowed that to happen. We're as close now as we were back then, and that's the major key to success. If you have partners, keep your ego in check and don't lose your fucking mind.
Yeah.
And remember why you got into this and how it all started and who did what, and the Fertittas put up the money early on, and I got lots of recognition and credit. There was never any infighting over any of that stuff. So, it needed all three of us to do what we did and to build it into what it is today.
I love to hear it, and I feel like when you find something that you love and you do it with people you love, that's like the key to happiness, right?
It's just, you have to remember, you're doing what you love to do, and you're doing it with people that, no matter what's going on today, as long as one of your partners doesn't lose his fucking mind, like I'm telling you,
yeah,
it's so silly. If you look at all the things that have been super successful that have blown up over ego, I mean that's the first thing.
Absolutely. And I feel like in business and throughout your whole journey, you've kind of had a fighter's mentality when it comes to your business strategy. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%. You have to. I laugh every time I hear people saying, yeah, I don't like working for other people. So, I want to work for myself because I want to set my own hours and I want to, yeah, right. Let me tell you what, when you work for yourself, there are no days. There's no Christmas. There's no fucking Easter. There's none of that shit when you work for yourself. In the early days.
It's a grind.
Exactly. It's you're working through all those holidays. Every day something bad happens. Every day there's problems. Every day somebody's trying to fuck you and take what you've built, and you know what I mean? It's a war every day when you get up in the early days.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't fully embrace that and go through that process without it being, going back to the thing, being something you love to do, or you won't be able to handle that.
Yeah, I mean, another thing that we talk about all the time, in the old days around here, it's quiet around here these days. First of all, I'm obviously 20 years older than I was when we started this fucking thing, so I was a lunatic in the early days. And when you're building something like this, you that has to be your mindset. There was a lot of screaming, yelling, madness going on around here back in the old days. But funny stories and shit like that. But yeah, I'm a lot more mellow these days. It's a lot easier around here than it used to be. But once you get to a certain level of success, you have to keep your hands on the wheel and you have to keep steering. The ship gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but you got to keep fucking steering it in the right direction. You got to, You got to show up every fucking day. You know, your employees are here working every day. You can't just be this dude who makes a bunch of money and you take off and go on fucking vacation for the whole summer and then come back in September and wonder how everything's fucking going. You got to stay in here and you got to, you got to lead your people to where you want this thing to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to transition into the fighters a little bit here. So talking about having no vacations, no off season, things like that, that's exactly what the fighters go through. So what makes them so different, a UFC athlete versus the other four major sports like the NFL and NBA?
The difference between the fighters, our fighters are built different than any other athlete in the world, man. These people are incredibly unique. Yeah. So if you look at the way a lot of the athletes acted during, COVID, not my crew. You know what I mean? Not only not my fighters, not my employees either. Everybody was ready to follow me into battle on that one. And if you look at these guys, they fight 3 times a year. So they'll have a big fight coming up. They'll train, they'll get ready for it. Then they have free time to spend with their family, be around their kids, go on trips, do vacations, and shit like that. Then, they got to get back to the grind, and they fight 3 times a year. Contrary to popular belief, they make great money, and they live really incredible lives. Right. I mean, I look at a guy like Cowboy Cerrone. I'm thinking of him because he was up here with us yesterday talking to us. This guy's got more fucking toys and shit that, he's got a ranch and all that stuff. He lives an incredible life, man. This guy does nothing but have fun. And fighting is part of it. Fighting is he loves it and it's fun for him. And how old is he now, Lene?
Let's see, like 30.
That guy has fun in the ring too.
He's what?
He has fun in the ring. Yeah.
Right? And he's got to be pushing 40 years old.
Yeah.
He's still making money. He's still doing his thing. He's got tons of great sponsors. Huh? 39 years old. Yeah.
Beast.
He's almost 40 years old and he's still here doing it. This guy in our back parking lot here has a fucking boat. What's he got? A boat?
A huge trailer.
A trailer, a bus, and God knows whatever.
Yeah.
I was pulling out of the garage the other day, and he goes, "Fuck, how many cars do you have?" I go, "How many cars do you have just here in the fucking parking lot? You don't even live in this state." So yeah, these guys live great lives, man. But they're very unique individuals. They're different than all of us. All the things that normal people worry about. Oh my God, I gotta go to college. I gotta have a steady job. I gotta have a 401k. I gotta have health insurance. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. They don't think about that shit, man. And none of these guys are wired to sit in bumper to bumper traffic and sit in a cubicle every day. They're a different breed of human being, and that's what makes them so unique and special.
Yeah, and the sport itself is so unique and special. And so for someone who's never watched a UFC fight in their life, what the hell are they missing?
Well, I mean, it depends on whether you go live or you watch it on TV. If you go live, it is the most exciting live sporting event you will ever see. I guarantee it. Nobody ever walks out of one of our events and goes, "Yeah, I don't ever want to see one of these again." And if you're at home watching it with your friends or you're at a bar watching it, you don't get a better television experience either. And just the